And new at 10, she's an 88-year-old with an amazing memory. When Carol Hupp had deja vu reading her favorite magazine, she didn't just let it go, she went digging. And 7 News reporter Jaclyn Allen shows us how Carol's Reader's Digest collection helped crack the case.
This is my 70-year collection of Reader's Digest.
Carol Hupp has a long memory.
They're in chronological order.
With a Reader's Digest library to back it up.
Thought the articles were interesting, and so I never threw any of them away.
So last year, when this 88-year-old former school teacher turned to her favorite section where readers submit humorous anecdotes,
one of the articles sounded familiar to me.
Really familiar. She just couldn't let it go.
So it took me 2 days. Off and on. Lo and behold, I found it.
Carol had remembered a paragraph from the July edition of 1980. So you remembered a joke from 30 years before?
Oh, yes. Well, it was a good article.
An article reprinted nearly word for word.
Well, it was a story.
A story about two couples who have dinner, the women go shopping, the men go on an ill-fated sailing adventure. They're drenched, grounded. Anyway, the punchlines are the same. One man says to the other with unmistakable sincerity, "Sure beats shopping."
He had to have copied it. Who else would say with unmistakable sincerity?
Okay, here's where I have to admit this story may be less about purported plagiarism and more about an 88-year-old woman having 3-decade deja vu and then finding the source.
How did you figure out which issue it was in?
I just probably picked a date and started reading backwards.
Carol says she contacted Reader's Digest twice, hoping for a correction with no response. I did call the man who submitted the repeats.
Hi, is this Bob Meyerson?
He didn't want to talk, but tells me he found it online and doesn't think there's anything wrong with that. Back in 1980, the anecdotes were supposed to be true stories, but that requirement has been lifted.
Do you think you have an unusually good memory?
Well, I hadn't thought so, but perhaps it is.
It may help that Carol is still so mentally and physically active. Crosswords, Scrabble, hiking and biking. Or maybe, just maybe, it's saving 7 decades of Reader's Digest. Just in case, maybe I shouldn't throw out those old magazines I've been saving after all. Jaclyn Allen, 7 News.
Now, we contacted Reader's Digest for comment, and they sent us a statement thanking Carol for being such a loyal reader and offering her a lifetime subscription to the magazine, saying many of us at Reader's Digest hope that we will have the same memory recall that she has at her age. Amazing.